Do you want to say starting again?
Still not one here, I think. Right, we're recording now, so we're really getting into, I suppose, now the kind of process of it all. And there's still people coming in. Does Daniel, do you have control over that? Okay, stuff. So this was an article that we wrote after the second Empower. So that we're going into our third intake now, so we've learned a lot. And I suppose the overall process of it is we're really trying to look at building strong habits. We recognize the kind of current habits that you've got in place right now, and looking to build better habits through the kind of consultation process that you get at the start. So with obviously the nutrition and the behavior assessment allows us to, as our nutritionists, to understand where you currently are and what is needed then for moving forward. So this whole idea of staying on track, like Daniel mentioned, this idea of being able to track progress, it's recognizing that everybody's progress is going to be very different. So it's not just the case of numbers going down on the scale. It's all these other measures of progress that are important to be aware of and to monitor as well. So what we've done to measure that is I suppose first of all, it's focusing on both us as a measurement progress and looking at us as in terms of having accountability, but also from an internal point of view, it's building this kind of reflective practice into your own process. But we have built a check-in form that allows us to look at these pillars of health and performance. So let's say your goal is fat loss. It's not just looking at the numbers going down on the scale. It's that we're focusing on your meal planning, your food quality choices, your hydration, sleep quality, fruit and veg intake, energy levels, overall health and performance, and then of course food relationship, which what we've noticed throughout the feedback that we've got from previous members is that this has been a massive part of it. So if we look at some of the things and the words that were said, it's how their mindset has changed and how they've been able to kind of get over difficult challenges and continue with their progress. So it's so much more than just being handed a meal plan. And as well, even if we look at this, it's been able to fuel correctly and push on in terms of performance and improve much more than potentially what was anticipated through just getting things right in your life. So what we do with this data then, whenever you've gone through the weekly check-in process, what we're able to see then is this kind of marker of progress over the longer period, and we're able to have this bigger picture view. So if we take an example here of Kieran from our previous Empower intake, we can see that if we look at week 8 in Kieran's progress in 3 different areas, so food quality choices, health and performance, and sleep, we can see that in week 8 his progress kind of went down. And what was really interesting about this is that Kieran then was able to respond really well to this and get back to his high performance self. So we can see now across from over a 12-week period that Kieran is really consistent high performer, and essentially that is what this whole program is about. It's recognizing that yes, there's going to be challenges that are going to come across the 12 weeks, but ultimately it's how you respond to those challenges and being able to get back on track. And the way that we're able to see this progress really puts that into perspective. So that's what we've kind of built on this year in terms of being able to monitor progress and see things from a bigger picture. So that's kind of, I suppose, an overview and looking into what members' experiences have been. But in terms of what you get whenever you sign up, it's that assessment that we mentioned at the start. You get your nutritionist whenever you signed up assigned to you, and that will be your nutritionist who you deal with throughout the course of the 12 weeks. So that's 3 consults that you'll get with them. There's the weekly check-in process again, so we can look at your progress. And then we also have bi-weekly group discussions or group workshops where we cover a range of topics, but also we're making those sessions practical so that you're getting something from it. And we work through challenges and understand problems and how to get over them. So it's very interactive. And then, of course, you've got your 12-week goal-related pathway. So each week you'll get your PDF resource that will take you through your journey, whether it's fat loss, muscle building, improved performance, or improved health. It'll be specific to your journey. And it's something that you can work through with regular tasks each week. So that's kind of it in a brief summary. But if you've got any questions at all, we'd be delighted to answer them. And I'll also share this link with you. So if you want to go through maybe a bit more detail yourself, just to see what it's all about and see if you feel it is suited to you.
Gemma, can you please show one of the reports that you're putting together for people? And I will just give a little bit more context, but I think it'd be lovely to show people just a typical report, what they get in terms of their calories and macros lined out, yes, and then recommended reading.
Yeah, okay.
So just while Gemma is doing that, just to say that you've also got access to the website. The website in itself is an unbelievable resource. So the Knowledge Center, the blog, there's new articles going up there. They're the subscription-based articles. There's articles on everything from if you're preparing for the marathon, you're a team sport athlete, if it's fat loss, if it's muscle building. We have a series of articles that cover each one of those topics. And then you've got access to the recipes. So the recipes, you're going to get the calories, the macros. You're going to get the expert support information. So what should the recipes be used for? You can filter the recipes based on, it's an exercise day recipe, whether it's a rest day recipe, and those recipes are categorized depending on the carbohydrate, protein, fiber content to make them suitable to you. I suppose the other thing that's really cool about it is that the meal planner is something very different. Like I spent almost 2 years with a web developer trying to create a web planner where people could customize their own meal plans, and that you're able to generate your own shopping list. And what I found so fascinating about the Empower over the past year is that people's cooking and overall practical skills dramatically improved with the program, because they're creating a system in their home. And I found that fascinating, because that wasn't something that we anticipated. So people have got into a rhythm of using the website, picking out recipes, following the meal plan, but the meal plans are more to guide your decisions. It's not about this rigid approach to following the specific calories and macros. It guides it guides your decision making. So Gemma, whenever you're ready, you can pull it up and just maybe give some little bit of insight to the plan. But I just wanted to give that overview of, you've got your consultations, you've got the workshops, you've got your weekly check-ins, and then you've got the access to the website, which is, it's very, very comprehensive. In fact, a big part of what we need to do is, we haven't even talked about the emails yet, Gemma, have we? Did you mention the emails that they
well,
get?
I just touched on that in the correlated pathway each week.
But you get an email, which is like a course covering your goal. So we spent a year putting those resources together. So if it's muscle building, you get what we think is the appropriate level of information around the topic for fat loss, muscle building, performance every week over the course of 12 weeks, which guides your learning as well. So back to you, Gemma.
Yeah, so this would be a bit of an example of what you get for if you were on, this is a performance profile, so female performance. So we give you your targets based on the information that you've input, and then it's, again, through the assessment, we're able to kind of see where the areas that we might need to work on to start with. So if it's meal planning, if you put a bit of focus into meal planning and start to get more organized around that, you might see that it's the case that these other markers improve as a byproduct. You know, the food quality choices start to improve as well. So you get your targets, and with this, there are 2 reference meal plans that you'll get so that you can start off. Like Daniel said, it's a guide that you use at the start, and then as you build a bit of independence and knowledge around what it is that you need, you become more confident to start using the recipe side of things to build your own meal plan, and that's where we aim to take you. Then we include some reference articles based on the discussion that we have in the consultation. So, you know, if you are training for a marathon, we've got articles and blogs to support that. Or if it's sleep that you need to focus on, we'll provide some tips around that as well. So there's loads of information in this initial PDF, but as well, it's what you get on a consistent weekly basis then to build on your knowledge that really helps you bring you through the process. So that's an overlook on
Gemma,
what you'll receive.
Gemma, is that exciting bit of work that you're doing on reflective practice? Do you think that will be ready for the Empower members?
I think so. Yeah. Did you want me to show you that?
Well, do you know what we'll do? So just a little summary on that, Gemma, and maybe what we can do is just do a general Q&A. Whatever questions people have, if they want to discuss more about the Empower or just nutrition in general, we're more than happy to answer. But I suppose, what have we learned, Gemma, and what are you working on within that program? Because I think it's really exciting.
Yeah. So I suppose from, like I mentioned at the start, from working with clients, we recognize that it's so much deeper when it comes to looking at your goals. So it's looking at other things in your life, like your work, your relationships, your personal values, and being able to kind of assess where you are on all of those things. And then from there, you can start to carve out a kind of a pathway on the actions that you need to take to improve those areas. So if we're looking and zoning in on health, it's what is it within health that you need to improve? If it's sleep, if it's meal planning, hydration, it's yes, recognizing those things, but it's also being able to look at some action points that you need to go forward within that. So if it's meal planning, what does meal planning look like for you? What works for you? Is it, you know, the shopping list? It's looking at when you're going to get it done, so that it starts to become a lot more realistic and personal to you. So we're working through a bit of a resource on how we can guide you through that process. So within the consultations, there's, you know, you will be able to discuss that with your nutritionist, but hopefully this resource will be ready for within the Empower program, so that it can really take you on a pathway that is providing a lot more clarity in terms of the questions that you need to ask yourself.
No pressure, Gemma, of course.
Loads of pressure.
Loads of pressure. I suppose to add, please pop your questions in the questions box, or just take yourself off mute to ask your questions. But I suppose something that we've really learned, and this is like if I was doing a consultation with one of you now, what I would be saying to you is, we have all of the information, and you tend to, as a person, have a lot of the answers. What we do is facilitate. We create accountability, we create that support, but we create clarity in your goals. But what's phenomenal is that the process helps you problem solve, as Gemma says. We create as Gemma was saying, the path or the framework for you to go, okay, I can apply these principles or this approach on my life, because life changes, you know, there's movement, there's travel, there's work schedules, whatever it might be, that become busier and busier. So it's how you adapt to that really matters. And that's what we want to prepare you for. So don't be afraid, ask us a question. We're friendly. We're friendly faces. Any comments actually, Luke or Heather, when people are deciding about their questions?
Oh, I just seen how you can do a poll and stuff now.
Oh, did you? We're not up on it yet. Does anybody even want to pop in their goals into the messenger? we definitely needed that spin the wheel, Gemma. Now I realize.
Yeah, we'll learn. Jesus loads.
Is there any questions on any aspect of what we do? Anybody?
There's, can you see that question box?
No.
Q&A that I just clicked on?
No.
Oh.
Are there questions coming in, Gemma?
Heather's question.
Maybe touch a little bit more on the emails that come in each week, because there's a lot in those.
What's in them, Heather?
Yeah, Heather.
Well, will I take it then? Each week there's a different topic, and it's kind of like you're being drip fed the information so that it's not overwhelming to start with, no matter where you're coming from or what your baseline knowledge of nutrition is. It's very much tangible to you, so that each week you can take what you need from it and reflect on where you go from there. And then also the fact that we have the bi-weekly workshops, they're going to tie in really well, because if you have any questions from those emails, you get a chance to ask in a group setting, or if somebody else has a question that maybe you haven't thought of, they're answered and addressed in that group, which is really nice.
Well done, Heather. John, thanks very much for that comment. You've given me a bit of a morale boost there. I just want to say, I'm going to say one thing, John. I hope you don't mind, and that is that I had asked John, you can comment if you want, John, but just that you weren't sure whether this program was appropriate for you. But I think just based on our conversation, you felt more comfortable and confident that it was. And I think that's really interesting. And that's another reason why we wanted to do this, workshop this evening, and we want to really help people understand, right? This whole process of change and change in behaviors, changing in mindset, building consistency, it's pretty complex stuff, and it takes time. But we have brought people through this process. We're now pulling data together to show this is how it's working. And I've said to the team for the last 2 years that that's what it's about. It's about actually proving that the system works. It will improve performance. It will help you achieve your goal. You'll feel completely different afterwards. So, Gemma, do you want to take the other question?
Yeah. So Tara, swimming the English Channel next year. So and struggling with when and what to eat between training sessions. So that's a huge goal. And this process and this Empower program would be perfect for a goal like that, because with having such a big goal, you need a strategy in place. And I suppose if you're confused with that now, it's about trying to, obviously we need a lot more details and to be able to answer that a bit more specifically. But you need a nutrition strategy so that you're able to feel a bit more confident in making those choices around your training sessions. And again, it's not about us just telling you exactly what to eat, but we're here for the guidance and being able to provide the information that's needed to make those decisions. Would you add anything else to that, Daniel?
I think what the team and I do, our bread and butter, pardon the pun, is helping people understand what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat, how to organize your nutrition. That's our bread and butter. What is really exciting, and the reason why we're so energized as a group, is because we're starting to help people do this for themselves. And it's unbelievably fulfilling to see the responses that people are getting from this approach. You know, I give you a small example. We ran a seminar in Sligo at the weekend, and you know, there was people there that were able to tell us off the top of their head how many calories that they had burned on the walk. And it wasn't about the access to the information, but it was the confidence that he got and that other people got from the approach. So what we want you to feel is clarity. We don't want there to be this stress, guilt, anxiety associated with your decisions around food. And that's what's really exciting us. Luke, is there anything that you'd like to comment? Like, you know, you've obviously dug into the data for us a little bit and you've been observing. Is there anything you'd like to comment?
Yeah, there's a couple of different bits that I think are really key to touch on. So the data is one point, but I think one thing that I've noticed in kind of just observing the industry and observing different types of programs that are out there, I would say that there's two kind of key aspects to it, right? So one thing is definitely the community. So having, what's that saying, where it's if you wanna go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That is one of the really important elements of this, is that everyone starts together as an intake and goes to group workshops and works in teams with our nutrition experts. So that's a big thing, and it's a big thing for accountability. It's a big thing for momentum, and it's a great thing to create that community feel, which is really, really important. And a lot of people, a lot of apps, a lot of programs preach that, but I really think that we really do bring that to the forefront in this program. And then I suppose from the data point of view, I definitely seen, and I think everyone who's on this call has seen, there's loads of programs out there where they'll get you to track your calories, you'll track your steps, and like that's just the tip of the iceberg. And it's ours goes so much further, where we're tracking people's relationship with food, we're tracking your kind of confidence, your quality of food intake. And we're working with you guys to track that and teach you why it's important to track that and to show you your progress. And I think what Gemma pointed out there brilliantly is that it's actually pointing out the times where it's not linear either. Like there is going to be moments in any program, whether you're here, whether you're with anyone else, that you're going to dip in performance, you're going to dip in your consistency. But it's about us, and what we do is identify what the triggers are for that, and how you can build a strategy to improve that and combat that going forward. So I think, yeah, there's I think everyone here can name any cookie cutter program out there that will help you get from A to B. But I think what we're about here is building a much more comprehensive journey for people, so that they are empowered to go on and can sustain those results. Is that okay, Daniel?
Jesus, Luke. Had you that written out before we start?
Yeah, I have the notes here now.
I was thinking to myself, I need to shut up and let Luke talk.
No, not after listening to Heather and Gemma as well. But it's great.
No, it's really good. And you can tell our enthusiasm. Luke is on the team, Heather's on the team, Gemma's on the team, and we're all here to help. Look, I'm conscious of everyone's time, and I'm very, I want to make sure that you've had the questions answered. I think we have, but if you want more detail, you can actually. This is an opportunity to maybe Heather. Maybe you can mention sorry, just got thrown there. Heather, the discovery calls, if you want to mention.
Yeah, definitely. You can give me an email and book in with for a discovery call with me. It's just a 15-minute chat for a chance to ask any other questions that haven't been answered, or if there's anything that's more personal to you that wasn't answered. They're great, and people have definitely got a lot of benefit from those. It gives a lot of clarity as well to what you're signing up to, further than maybe what we've mentioned here.
Do you want to throw a nutrition question at us before we wrap it up, or are you happy? Give us an old thumbs up or give us something.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, like I think for myself, it's just I suppose as you're saying, I want to make sure if I go with this that it's going to work. It's there's a lot of gimmicky things that you can, go to nutrition and get these plans and stuff. But for myself, like, I'm coming from where I used to be quite fit. Going back, marathon is this year, so plan is to do that, half Ironman next year, then full one by the end of the year. So I'm kind of coming from a gap of doing nothing into the deep end again in my head. So I just want to make sure that what I'm going to go achieve is what I need. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, I can understand I can eat brown rice and I can eat, the real healthy things all the time, but is that what I need to be doing? I think it's more like I'm quite happy to go with you. I think it's more the one-on-one I need to talk to you, as in, well, this is what I need. And then you can, I suppose, let me know, yeah, that's what we can do for you, and this is how it works. I'm quite happy with your presentation, I suppose. But yeah, I think that's where I'm looking at, that I need to know that this is for me, that's, you can do the little things I need to do or get done. That doesn't make any sense, but then that's where I'm looking at from anyway. So yeah,
Tony, it makes absolutely perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, and I let Gemma comment afterwards. But I suppose the big thing is performance is. We're all performance nutritionists. And sorry, Luke isn't, not yet anyway. But we've all worked or competed. And what we want to do is bring clarity to your day-to-day decisions around training, to your overall approach. And this is like this program is like more like, and I'm not trying to put anybody off, but it's more like a course. It's not just about giving you all of the information. It's about giving you the information in a way that your life, will allow it that it's about being able to consume it over a period of time that allows it to stick and make an impact. Because what tends to happen is there isn't enough flexibility in a lot of the planning, and there isn't enough attention placed on a longer period of time. So, I mean, you can have a chat with Heather in a bit more detail around it, but somebody like you, I think we have all of the resources to help you. But it's not just about that; it's the one-to-one too, of course. And I think anyone of the team, you can choose if you wish to work with somebody, but anyone of the team would be brilliant for that. Gemma, anything to say?
No, that summed it up pretty well. But it's just, I suppose that is, it's the commitment to the process and it's the actions that you take that get the results. So, we provide the direction, we help and support, and it really is about understanding what your challenges are, and we take you through that. So, I think it would be worth giving Heather a shout, and speaking through that. But I can definitely. I can definitely vouch for the guaranteed results if you're committed to taking action and responsibility through it.
Yep.
Thanks for asking the question, though, Tony. It's great. It's great.
Oh,
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. Sarah, you're more than welcome. If there's any last questions, we'll take them, or if not, we leave it at that. And I'm going to say a massive thank you to Gemma for putting this together, and Luke and Heather for coming on. And Eva, is Eva still there?
I am, yeah.
Oh,
You're the gym.
you're in the background, the gym.
No, not quite. I'm home.
Eva, do you have anything that you'd like to say about it?
I'm sorry, just get my camera on. I don't know if it's working. Oh, here we go. I think everything was covered really well. Like Gemma said, like, we provide the direction, and it is about committing to the process as well. So it is not just about handing the plan and going through that. It's what are your challenges in your daily life that's maybe impacting those decisions. So that's where we kind of go from in the process. But there's so much information involved in the program. It's not overwhelming. It's not just handed a booklet and there you go. It's fed in manageable amounts that you can absorb it, and there's action pointed through each week that you can go off, and then ultimately it is building on that each week and building up just to I suppose having your own knowledge around things, and you'll know why you make the decisions around the things that you do. But I think everything was covered really well. And if there is any questions, Heather will be happy enough to take them, I'm sure. On the boss.
On them off, yeah, no matter.
Sorry to anybody who came in late there, but we actually have this recorded, and we'll pop it up on on YouTube or something, Gemma.
Yeah, put it up and we'll send out the link.
We'll send out
We can
the
email.
link to anybody who's interested. I doubt they'll watch all 40 minutes, but look, thanks very much to everyone. Very conscious of everyone's time. But yeah, I hope you come and join the Empowerment Programme.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Gemma. Bye, guys.